This is Irontrader. This is the last call of the day. So we'll take a look here at Bitcoin, crude oil, natural gas, gold, and silver. And then we'll look at the indexes, the Dow, the S&P, and the old NASDAQ. At the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, sell, stock, or ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, here we have Bitcoin. Now, she is holding in very, very strong today. Okay, let me just see if I can pick that up a little bit. Oh, yeah. See, we're right at the very, very top here. We're looking at 112,345. Okay, so what we're looking for is we're looking for this key level. Okay, obviously 108,960. She ripped up. Then we looked at this 110, 150. She broke above that. Now, what you want to do is if this does sell down, and eventually it will probably come down and retest, always watch these key levels here now for support levels, okay, before we get to that key 8 SMA here, okay? So now, you're looking at 112, 345. If you put a trend line on there, realistically, you're looking for at about 115 to 116 area, okay? Now, again, it could stop at 114. I'm not saying that it couldn't and do a little, kind of consolidation like we had here. Don't get me wrong, but I think the 115, 116, the target is what we're going to be looking for, okay? So as this ripped up, we had a nice inverse head and shoulders with a nice double bottom situation. That was always very, very nice, okay? And then what it is, it just ripped up. And now look how nice it held that 8-day. And now what we did is we had these consolidation levels. That was very, very good. See how it consolidated, and we had a really nice long consolidated. And then it says, screw that, I'll rip it up. And sure enough, there she goes. Okay. So now they're going to have a Bitcoin, almost like a dinner kind of a situation. So all the big players are in Bitcoin are going to sit down to dinner. They're going to discuss this. And I just think this is going to be a really good play for quite a long time because I think we're just getting started in this. Now, there's a lot of ways to trade this, but I've been trading the IBIT. That's my long position. And then IBIX is basically a 2 times leverage. Now, that's just a trader for me. That's not like a buy and hold situation because these leverage funds, they rebalance at the end of the day, and it's not really a true reading. However, it's really a good on, as far as trading and making money off it, okay? So basically what we're looking for here is you got 112, 345. We want to keep right on rolling here with this. This is not no shorting opportunity here until we get some kind of a consolidation. We get a little topping tail. We get something that says, hey, this is, all done. Now, we are getting to that overbought condition, but if we look to the past here, okay, we don't have that really extreme like we had here, okay? So we had it going up here, and then we just had that extreme, and then she finally sold down. But once we start seeing this kind of a pattern, and we see that negative divergence, see, as this is rolling up, this is rolling down, then it's time to get out of the trade. But right now, long as the trade, there's just no question about it. Now, you're going to have a little bit of pullback here and there, but again, it's no really big deal. So what you want to watch is you want to watch yesterday's high. That's at a 110, 175 level. Then we come over here, you have that 110, 150. This is very, very key level here at that 108, 960 level. And then we want to watch that 8-day at that 106, 319 level, okay? But as long as this price is above this 8-day, it's sideways to up action. Right now, we could just rolling. So this is, overbought. However, it's also showing how strong. This can get more overbought than what we have. You're sitting at 78. You can go up a little bit higher than that here. So don't have no opinion. Let's just see if we can go to the next level and then maybe get some consolidation go, and then we can take it right up. But I'm looking for that 115, 116 level. Now, again, it could go to 114, but right there, that 116, 15, 16 is where this is going to be. I think she's going to stop and take a little break. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil and natural gas. Okay, here we have crude oil, here we have natural gas. Now, when we look at this, these charts here, okay, we can see here that we had this topping tail. Now, what we had is it ran right up here after hours kind of a situation. And this was on the rumor that Israel was going to bomb Iran. Now, Iran came out there today and says that if they get bombed by Israel, they're going to blame it on the U.S., okay? So we don't know how this is all going to shake out. Now, you can see here we put in a lower low, okay, and a lower high, but we have what we call an indecision candle. But we are holding this key 21 SMA here, okay? So what we're doing is looking at that 60.87 level. That's going to be very, very good support. If not, we're going to come right here to the bottom of this candle at 60.25. Okay, so we're looking to the left here at 60.47. So right there, we have a double, almost like a double bottom situation. We have a little bit lower low, but we're holding that 21 day. Now, if that's lost, we're going to come down to the bottom of this candle. You're looking at 59.89 level. Then we'll come over here to the bottom here. You're looking at, what do we have here at this candle right here? You're looking at 58.76 level. Then we can come to the bottom. You're looking at 57.74. Then we have that 57.03, and then we have that 56.39, and then we can have your retest there at 55.30, and your big boy down here at 55.12 level. But right now here, I like to show you where it could possibly go. But right now, we just have this sideways action, okay? So you can see here where we're just kind of like holding support level. So as long as we hold the bottom here, that 59.89 level, we're still doing good here. We're just having a sideways action. Now, again, anything can happen. Now, OPEC came out there today, and Saudi Arabia looks like they want to dump more oil on the market. So that's really not good for price, okay? We do have Memorial Day coming up here right around the corner. You have 4th of July coming up here. So right now here, oil should be moving up, but it just right now, it just isn't, okay? So on the upside, where we're watching is today, 61.75. And then we're watching that 62.14. Now, we get above that, we'll come to the top of this candle here. You're looking at that 61.70 area. And then we'll be looking right here at that 50-day at 63.62. And then what we do is we want to come up right to the top of that candle, that 64.87 level, okay? But again, this 50-day is everything on the upside, same way with the 8-day. And that 21 is everything on the downside here. So don't have no opinion here, because a lot of times here, oil is very, very tricky, okay? All it needs is just a little bit of news, just like we had here, and we just rallied right up really just very, very strong, okay? Again, it didn't hold anything. That's why I didn't get the long position. Took a nice shorty, and actually the shorty was in there today. I'm out of the short position here now. So right now, I have no position here in crude. So I'm going to see what's going to happen at 6 p.m. But remember, we're going to be trading against today's candle. So you watch that high, 61.75, and you watch that low at 60.25. This here isn't showing us anything. This could go either way. Same way the green is over your red. We just have this sideways action kind of a trade. So basically, this is what it is. It's a day trader, scalping until we get some kind of a reaction. Either we're going to crack below that 21-day and go lower, or we're going to get above the 8-day and hit that 50-day. Now, the gas here came out. Well, the numbers came out. They're all posted for you at the end of the video. They're expecting a build of 115 billion cubic feet, and they came in at 120 billion cubic feet. So you're going to need some kind of a catalyst to get natural gas going. Really hot summer kind of a situation, get the power plants going, or something with LNG. Anything here, but right now there's nothing really bullish about this. Now, this morning when we came in there, we had this poll, and I was saying maybe a possible, bull flag building here, but well, again, it still is sort of, okay? So we got to see how this all going to shake out here. But realistically, this 8-day stopped it dead in this track at that 336. So that's your upside. 336, you get above that, then we can come to that 341 level. Then we'll come on top of this candle right here at 351. And then we'll be heading right for that 50-day at that 360 and possible, 370 and 384. But there's so much resistance going on here at 8, 21-day, 50, 100-day till we get there. You're going to need a huge catalyst to take that bad boy up. Now, today here we stopped roughly at 3.23 level, okay? So if we just look at the left of the charts here, you had 3.22, okay? So your next one in line here is going to be this 200-day at 3.19. Let's call it 3.20. If that's lost here, then we can retest a lot of this stuff here, okay? So we can come right down here to this bottom of this 309 level. Then we have your gap, 305, 298 is your fill, and then 285 here, okay? So right now here, I would be just a little bit patient on this thing here. I mean, it was just, I took a quick scalp in KOLD there today. You made a bottom in KOLD of 23.53, and then you had a high of 24.72 there. But I got my 50 cents, and that's all I was looking at. I'm trading 5,000 shares. So that's all I was looking for out of natural gas here. Now, what I'm watching here now is this 200-day to see what the reaction is once it gets there. Does it blow through like we had here and then keep right on going? Or does it hold it and rally up towards that 8 and that 21 SMA? Okay, take a look here now at gold and silver. Okay, here we have gold and here we have silver. Let me bigger up a little bit there for you. Okay, nice. Now, you can see here what we had, okay? So we've had a really good, nice run-up and respected and held this 50-day just like it has in the past, okay? Rallied up and went right into that 21-day. Then it rallied up. Now, it could have kept on going. Now, again, yesterday it made a higher high. It looked like it was going to crawl right back up there. So you had 33.46. But what you have to do is look to the left of the chart here. What do you have? 33.46, okay? So you went right into resistance, and then it pulled back. Now, if you look at this here, you're sitting at 32.94. What we're looking at is that 32.96. So you're just a little bit below that 21-day. Now, if that's lost, we're going to look to today's low at that 32.77, and then we're going to be looking for this 8-day at 32.52. Now, if that's lost, then you got to respect this 50-day at 32.04. Again, if that's lost, then we come to the bottom of this candle here, 31.56, and then you retest down here at 31.23. But right now, we just have this sideways kind of an action here. I just think what it is just looking for some kind of a catalyst, either to move higher, kind of a situation, or lower. But when you look at this chart, see how we had this high, we had a lower high, and now we have a lower high. So we have a downtrending chart going on here. So always remember that, okay? So again, on the upside, if it can rally back up, we'll look for yesterday's high, 33.27. We'll look at today's high at that what do we have here? 33.46 level here. And then we want to just keep right on rallying all the way up here. 33.52 level. We come to the bottom of this candle here. You got 33.67. We'll come up there, 32.93, and then your big retest at 34.48 level, which is basically just the top of that candle. Now, remember, we have strong resistance here, just like on crude oil, okay, with that 84 level. We got very strong resistance here. So if it does get up here, we'd have to see what the reaction is. But that's the only way you're going to break this downtrend is you have to close back above this 34.48. Then we can hit that target there at 35.09. We crack that. Just look for that 35.50 area. That'll be the target is where it'll be going. Okay, now what we have here is we have 52.8. It's not really telling us anything. Your green is still below your red. It's not really telling us anything. This is just like a sideways kind of an action situation here. But we did have this negative divergence I want to show you. See how we had this high? Okay, they had a high. We had a higher high, a lower high. See this negative divergence? Okay, and then what happened? It sold off again. Okay, so always pay attention to the RSI. It gives you a lot more than what you think. But right now, what you just watch that 21-day when those futures open at 6. Okay, if that's lost, we're going to be looking right for that 8-day. If that's lost, we're going to look for that 50-day. Very simple. Upside, we're looking at today's high. That's going to be key, 33.46. And then we can follow candles, but your target up here is going to be that 34.48, and then we'd have to see what the reaction when it gets there. Now, silver, it's kind of like a nothing burger here. It's just sideways action. So if you are trading this is basically just sideways action. So just wait for a hold support. Now, if you look at this 100-day, look at this. Look how many times it's held this 100-day, okay? So this is like super support going on right here, okay? Now, again, if that 32.45 is lost, then you're going to come down here to this 31.68. That's that 200-day. Now, we're all jammed up right here, right around that 33 area. So figure 33, you can see where it's holding that 33 area. It tried to pop up today, but it just isn't. So we're basically trading between this price channel of that 33.83 on the top and that 31.78 there on the old bottom. Now, if we can crack that 33.83, say, then you just want to come over here to the left of the chart. You're looking at 34.68. We'll come up here. You're looking at 35 flat. And then we can come up top of there at 35.49. But right now, this is just a trader's market until we crack above that. These price channels, you either go above or you're going to go below. Okay, let's take a look here now at the indexes. Okay, here we have the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ. Now, we had the bond report again today at 1 o'clock. You can see where the market just fell right off, but it shook it off, and it came and it's rallying back up here again. So what we're watching here, let's just take a look at the Dow here first, okay? Now, the Dow never really got to an overbought condition. It just got up towards that level. That 70 is where you wanted to be, but it came right on down here. Now it's not looking really that bad, okay? So this is your big support levels going on right here, okay? So we had a low there today of that 41.714. Now, if that's lost, well, obviously we have this 21-day at 41.447, but you want to look at the top of this candle right here. That's 41.512. There's your gap fill, okay? So now we have this gap. It's getting closer. So there's your gap. And there's your fill, there's your 21-day, and then there's your 50-day. So that's all your key support levels. Now, on the upside here, we had a pretty good day here, 41.714 on the 42.064. This is what we're looking for, is that 42.312 level, okay? That's your 8-day. That's pretty much your 100-day, your 200-day. Everything is sitting right there. You have to get above that. Now, if you do 42.842, that's your target right there, okay? Very nicely, all right? So right now, it's holding in. It doesn't want to give up the old ghost, okay? Now, S&P, pretty much the same thing, okay? So we're holding this upper level. It looks like it wants a rally up here towards that 8-day. So you got to watch and respect that 8-day at that 58.09 because it held it all the way down. Now that becomes pretty good size resistance now that you're below it. So 58.09 is what you're looking for. Get above that, 59.38, and then we have 59.68. That's the key. But just watch that 8-day at that 59.08. Very, very crucial. On the downside here, we have this 100-day, 57.68. That's really your 100-day, your 200-day, and then we have your 21-day below this. But if that's all lost, just watch the top of this candle here. This is that 56.91. That is your gap fill, okay? Your gap is right here. There's your fill, but we have a lot of good support going on here, okay? Now, this got to an overbought condition, but you see it roll down now. Just wants to get, just doesn't want to give it up. But I think eventually you're going to get a correction here. And if you look at the seasonality chart, it's usually going to be right here in the June time frame. Okay. Now, here we have NASDAQ. Well, NASDAQ has been a really good trade here. Okay. We've been holding that 8-day. You can see all the way up. Now we're below that 8-day, same as the other two charts. So 1990, that's going to be very critical on the upside. And then we can crack that. Then we're looking to a retest there at that 19,241 level. But that 8-day, you have to get back above it. If not, not going to work. Okay. So downside here, we want to watch that 18,421. That 100-day and 200-day are going to be fried. Very big time support. Same way with this 21-day. Now, if it starts getting into that, then we want to look at the top of that candle, 1868. There's your gap fill. See here, your gap, and here's your fill. Okay, so a lot of times what it does, it comes right into the gap, and a lot of times it will hold and rally back up. But if it starts getting into that gap, then you're going to fill it, and then we have to watch the top of that candle. Okay, that's what I got for you, and I'll be back here tomorrow morning, Friday. And then we're going to have a nice long weekend. Okay, remember, Memorial Weekend. That's going to be awesome. So what you want to do is, just be patient tomorrow, okay? Don't overtrade. A lot of times if I'm trading 5,000 shares, I cut that down to like say 2,500 or 3,000 shares kind of a situation, because you don't want to go there and lose money and be all pissed off over the weekend and then come revenge trading there on Tuesday, okay? That's not a good look for you, okay? It's not a good look for anybody. So you don't want to do that, okay? So what you want to do is just go there, make a good trade, but put the money in your pocket. That's the key. That's why we trade. Okay, just buying and holding and waiting for all the waves. I get all that. You can have a certain amount into that. But if you're going to be trading this here, like swing trade or day trade, get that money and put it in your pocket. So you miss a little bit on the bottom. You miss a little bit on top. Who gives a shit? Okay, you want that meat in the middle, and you want to put that in your pocket. All right, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.